Okay, so I'm going to be presenting today on how to address financial abuse in society. Very quickly, I'm going to define what financial abuse means. I'm also going to explore obstacles for survivors of domestic violence and also discuss potential solutions. So we know that financial abuse is a component to domestic violence in addition to physical and emotional abuse. A quick definition is preventing access to money or financial resources for power and control. And we can see a good example of that with the picture on the right. We see the elderly man holding on to his piggy bank and an unknown aggressor stealing this piggy bank from him. Here, the piggy bank is meant to represent his financial security. It could be his savings, it could be his job, it could be his credit. And upon losing his savings, upon having his savings stolen, he is immediately disempowered and in a very vulnerable position. And we see this all the time in cases of financial abuse. The abuser will steal their partner's money, they'll ruin their credit, they'll control how money is spent in the relationship, they'll withhold money or basic living resources and not allow their partner to work or earn money. And again, all of this is to exert power and control over their partner. Some obstacles for survivors of domestic violence are financial security. Unfortunately, many times, even if the survivor has the strength to leave the abuser, they're immediately going to struggle because they're going to have debt, they're going to have poor credit, they're going to have really the consequences of this financial abuse that they experienced, and it's going to make it very difficult for them to finance their freedom moving forward. We see many cases of survivors who leave their abuser, but unfortunately return to them when they're faced with healthcare bills, when they're faced with education expenses, taking care of their children, the expenses inherent in that. So financial security is definitely a major obstacle for survivors of domestic violence, as is workplace and professional development. We know that many survivors are prohibited from working due to their financial abuser, and when they actually do separate from their partner and try to apply for work, many times their employer will notice an absence of these skills and they won't hire them. Professional development is definitely a very important obstacle for survivors as well. Definitely documentation status is important because we see that fears of deportation, fears of being separated from their family prevent many undocumented individuals from reporting their abuse and seeking help. So this is definitely something that the abuser will leverage to maintain power and control over their partner. We know for potential areas of solutions that Mujeres Latinas and Accion has a 3-stage plan to build survivor wealth. The first part of that plan involves crisis planning, ensuring not just the physical safety of the participant, but also their financial safety. So in addition to pursuing things like orders of protections or temporary housing situations, they'll also make sure that the participant leaves a relationship with their credit card, with their savings, with all of the vital documents that they might need, their passport, their social security, things that they might need to apply for work and to really start building that wealth down the line. We also know the coping and information stage is important. The mentor will, in that stage, assess the skills of the survivor and see what areas they might need to build upon, what areas they're strong in, as well as exploring the career interests of the individual, so that when they reach the education stage, it's just a matter of providing that professional development opportunity and to develop those skills. We also know that legal counsel can be a potential solution. The Victims Economic Security and Safety Act gives survivors not just the time, it gives them 12 weeks unpaid leave from work, not just the time, but also the job security. It prevents their employer from firing them for any reason relating to their domestic violence. So that's definitely important for survivors, as is the Violence Against Women Act, which prevents undocumented individuals, which allows undocumented individuals to get their green card and get a path to citizenship if they report their abuse. So these are definitely very important solutions to mention. In review, we defined what financial abuse meant, we explored obstacles, and we discussed potential solutions. Unfortunately, abuse is prevalent in society, but so too are the resources, and here I've listed just a few.